The Pottery Garden is a pottery studio nestled in a tropical garden in Josiah's Bay, Tortola, British Virgin Islands. Local potter Carl Burnett produces original handmade functional and decorative pottery. Additionally, the Pottery Garden offers tours, demonstrations, lessons, custom orders, cool drinks, a relaxing garden atmosphere, all in nature's little secrets. Here to talk all things pottery is local potter Carl Burnett. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 Media. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it then. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Mr. Burnett, welcome to 284 Media.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Grant.
No problem. For persons who might not understand, pottery is basically a step-by-step work of art, a labor of love. Tell me about the first time your hands touched clay.
All right, so I was first introduced to pottery around 2002 in the then BVI High School. I chose art or ceramics as my major when I got to fourth form, mainly because I wasn't really interested in any of the other fields. I never was really academically challenged or had issues in school, but I took arts or ceramic as a way out of that. And at the time, you could have either chosen whether it be drawing and painting versus ceramics and crafts. And at the time, I've heard the word ceramics, but I didn't really know what ceramics was. Obviously, I knew what pottery was and all that, but I didn't know the term ceramics. Going into class, realized it's about clay. And the first day of class, we touched clay. I fell in love instantly.
Wow.
I realized it was something I was okay at, or good at. I had some sort of talent there. So I fell in love, and I wanted to pursue it since then.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The Pottery Garden is literally nestled in a tropical paradise, Josiah's Bay, Tortola, BVI. Tell us about your establishment.
All right, so we're located not too far from the traditional ruins in Josiah's Bay. And it's been a labor of love. Been working at it for about over 5.5 years or so. Everything was basically mainly done out of pocket, all my savings and spare times. I had a few very good friends who helped me, my family, my wife, my son, my mother, we all worked very hard towards it. In 2017, Omar came and kind of started us over. But, we continued, we persevered, and we were finally able to open in March this year, 2019. Amazing. And the grounds are still quite young, our plants are still quite young. Before we completely got the place secured, fenced off, and so on, we used to, have issues with cows and so on. But the garden is coming along now. We have a lot of local fruit trees there, and, it's going pretty good.
As a born and raised Virgin Islander, what do you most enjoy about living and working in the BVI?
Just like you say, it's nature's little secrets, just the natural beauty. When I'm at Josiah's Bay walking in the studio, for the most part, is really quiet. I just listen to the birds. There's always a cool breeze blowing. The garden is very tranquil. at lunchtime, I would sit outside on the bench and relax. It's just a beautiful place to walk in. Is very relaxing.
Okay.
You know, pottery in itself is very therapeutic and relaxing. And before I was able to develop a studio, I did my work either in my mother's workshop at her home or at my grandmother's house in a very small library downstairs. So it was always a cramped, tight
Okay.
space I was walking in, and nothing too aesthetically pleasing, I
Right,
guess,
right.
for like a pottery setting. But now being at Josiah's Bay in the garden,
You actually
and
have your
yeah,
studio,
I have space. You know,
Good.
is wonderful there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we go to stores and we shop, you know, clay and pottery is essentially all around us. We see the product,
Yeah, yeah.
but persons don't really understand the process. They just see the completed process,
Yeah.
the completed product. Sorry.
Right, right.
Tell me about the process.
All right. Before I dive into that, I just want to emphasize, like you say, many people don't even know, like, you know, the dishes you usually eat out of at home, you know, the toilet you sit on, the sink you wash your face in, is all pottery, is clay based. But the process, I make stoneware pottery, which is a type of pottery which is fired to a higher temperature
Okay.
than your regular ovenware. I prepare the clays myself. I hand wedge them. I make the pots. Most of the pots I make, they're done on the potter's wheel. However, I do hand building.
Okay.
Actually, initially my love for pottery developed from hand building. When I was in school, in high school, the teachers at the time didn't know how to use a potter's wheel or couldn't teach a potter's
Okay.
wheel. So I actually self-taught myself the potter's wheel after leaving school. But most of the stuff is done on the wheel. You know, everything is individually handmade. I don't use molds. Not that there's anything wrong with molds or
course.
anything like that, but I don't use, you know, any of those type of stuff. Everything is original, unique, handmade. I make the glazes for the pottery, which is like the color shiny coating that goes
Yes.
over the clay. I make them from raw materials. Some of the glazes I make are strictly local materials I use.
Awesome.
I fire the pots, and I also sell the pots. So I'm what you call a studio potter, which
Right.
basically means my hand is in the entire process of the pottery. I also have some local clay that I'm working on developing
Okay.
to produce a line of pottery where the clay is local, the glaze is local. And of course, at Josiah's Bay, we have the centerpiece of our grounds is the massive wood-fired kiln.
Really? Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
All right, so the wood-fired kiln, we're trying to get that fired up, hopefully in time for Christmas to catch the season. I'm pretty sure it's the only wood-fired kiln in the Virgin Islands. It's
Okay.
basically wood firing is the type of wood firing I'm doing is developed in the Eastern Wall, in China, Korea, and Japan, and so on. So it's basically a kiln. A kiln is an oven that fires pottery, that you bake pottery in, but it's fueled by wood,
Okay.
right?
So you literally have to stand in.
And yeah, you
Toss the
stoke
wood
you
in,
stoke the wood into the kiln. We're anticipating about a day to 3 days of firing
Wow.
for the kiln. So hopefully that works out good. But basically, wood-fired pottery is quite different from other means of firing. You can fire with an electric kiln, a gas-fired kiln, you know, oil-fired kiln, which is similar to gas, or wood-fired kiln. In a wood-fired kiln, you can achieve different surface reactions and decorations and textures and so on that you can't achieve in other kilns. The path of the flame, the fly ash in the kiln and so on, it gives a very unique effect. So hopefully we'll get that all fired up. So that's something very unique about our pottery as well. Although we haven't fired the wood kiln as yet, and honestly, I haven't even wood fired before.
All right. So it'll be an experience for
It's,
you
it's
and
an
the
experience,
viewers.
it's an
For all of
experiment.
us.
But after starting to begin to study pottery, after my love for pottery began, you know, looking at other potters and their work and so on, I gravitated to
Okay,
wood-fired
okay.
pottery. So I've done a lot of reading about it, a lot of research on the internet and so on, but I haven't actually done it yet. So it'll be something.
It'll be a new experience.
Yeah.
And we're excited for you
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
Let me touch a little bit on the whole idea, because we have a lot of young entrepreneurs in the Virgin Islands, young millennial persons who might have a similar talent, whether it be, it could be anything, but they're a little bit apprehensive and very perhaps scared of branching out. Tell us a little bit about your experience as an entrepreneur, and what encouragement would you give to young persons who might be, again, apprehensive or nervous about stepping out there on their own?
Well, I would definitely say it's a challenge, you know. You have to be very persistent. You definitely have to be something that you love and a goal that you want to achieve. But I would say be persistent and stick with it. Do what you love. If you do what you love, you know, you always hear the saying, if you do what you love, you'll never walk, and
Indeed.
so on. So, yeah, I would encourage people to just go for their goals and go for their passion. In terms of the pottery, or if it may be, like you said, something different that you're trying to push. Like with the pottery, I know the market for pottery here is limited. However, from my beginnings of making pottery, I've realized that people like to watch the process, or
Yes.
they're intrigued in the process of making the pottery. So the Pottery Garden is an experience-based type pottery.
Most definitely.
Right. Our slogan is an earth-made experience. So when you come to the Pottery Garden, we want you to leave feeling that you just experience something very intimate with nature and so on. So, like I say, be creative. I'm not only selling the product, I'm selling the process. And the process draws people to the product.
And
So-
with that process, you guys also do tours, you do couples events, if a couple wants to come down and do
Yeah,
some
so
more.
we do classes. We do hand building classes. We do classes on the potter's wheel. I can arrange couple classes. I've had a few couples come down on dates, and it's been quite nice. It's something romantic and fun to do. The tours, they aren't fully up and running in the sense of where we want them to be as yet. We're working towards that, because although locals are welcome to come down, and we'll just, you know, accommodate you and tour and give you a tour and so on, and give demonstrations and so on. The tours are really geared towards like our overnight tourists or cruise tourists and so on. So we're working on getting that going. Hopefully, maybe before the season is out, we can get some of that actually on the go. But definitely, it's just somewhere that you can come to and relax.
Yeah.
Even if you just want to come down and look at the pots, or just, you know, enjoy the garden, or if I'm walking, watch me walk in the studio. It's somewhere where you
Take
can
a time
come.
out from it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had people come there, and you know, we've chatted for quite some time, and people would say stuff like, "Oh, it's so relaxing here. I don't even feel like I want
could
to
imagine,
leave." You know.
yeah.
So yeah, it's somewhere people could come down and just enjoy and have a time out as well.
Wonderful. Well, before we go, as we approach the holiday season, of course, it's Christmas. It's the end of, approaching the end of another year.
Yeah.
Before we go, can you give the viewers anything perhaps that you want to leave with them approaching the season as it pertains to your business?
All right, so definitely for the Christmas season, we would enjoy if the people could come out and actually support local art. You can definitely find a very unique, one-of-a-kind gift at the Pottery Garden that you cannot find anywhere else in the world, much less the Virgin Islands. And like I mentioned, the wood kiln, we're hoping to have that all fired up for the Christmas season. So that would definitely be something different and unique. The pottery that we make at the Pottery Garden it's original. It's, if you have ever seen any of my work, or you've seen anything that we create, you would know instantly right off the bat, all right, that's from the Pottery Garden.
Okay.
You know, our style is recognizable, and like I say, it's completely unique. So come out, you know, support local art, support creativity, and you know, have something unique and personal that you can enjoy.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on 284 Media, the one and only, the Pottery Garden. Mr. Burnett, thank you so much for stopping
Thanks so
by.
much for having me.
You're
on.
most welcome.
All right.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.